What is up, everybody? Hoang here, and today for you I have the brand new BT21 Crossart deck profile. So this deck profile is going to be one of the first in unification on the Hoang channel, and what better deck to cover than one of my favorites, Crossart. So, Crossart is a deck that receives significant buffs in this set, and I'm more than happy to talk about all the different changes. But one of the things that made me kind of hop off Crossart for a little while was the Adventure matchup. So Adventure has this option, a very obnoxious option. It's Our Courage United, right? So Our Courage United is when any level 5 or higher Digimon would leave the battle area, delay, you could play at level 5. And so a lot of their 5s just absolutely decimate Crossart. So whether it's Metal Greymon's De-Digivolve, Zudomon stripping of the Rush, Lilymon bot deck, really there's just a bunch of different things that can be really problematic for Crossart. And the issue was that your EX6 is always going to trigger the black option. So you do the on play, you get the minus 6,000, and then if you play out the Shooting Star, it's minus 3,000 mandatory. So it's minus 9,000, so it's forced to pop the level 5, thus triggering Our Courage United. Okay, well, what if you just don't play the Starmon? Okay, well, then you do minus 6,000 against their 7,000. Oh, but wait, your win attacking is mandatory. As a result, pops the 5, Courage United, and you're back to square one. So because of that, and I figured, hey, this would be a very popular matchup, this is going to keep Crossart from being a good deck. And so if you follow my Twitter, I referred to this as the troll guarding the bridge. Well, today, while I was going about my business, I had a sudden thought. What if we could somehow replicate a Ruin mode large enough to kill the 5 that spawns off of Courage United? Well, in Crossart, okay, the conditions to this card, it has to be archetypal, because if it's anything else, it's not consistent enough. And if it's not consistent enough, then it's just a bad time, right? So it has to be archetypal. Obviously, there's only a couple of things that can do it. Like, at one point, I entertained Purge Shine, and Purge Shine was, searchable, then, maybe. I came to realize Kohei Murata actually cooked and created a card that gives us the solution to our Courage United issue. That is Can't Turn My Back. Can't Turn My Back is the brand new option from the protagonist line. While you have a Digimon Crossart, ignore the color requirement. Cool. The main effect, 2 cost, place all Digimon cards underneath one of your Crossart Digimon under one of your Tamers. Then you may play a Digimon with the Crossart trait with the play cost reduced by 1 for each card this effect played. That's the important part. The security effect, pretty good, plays out a 5 cost or lower Crossart card. Why the first effect is so good is because you make your EX6, okay, make your EX6, minus 6,000, don't play Starmon. Can't Turn My Back into a second EX6 using the material, and then that second EX6 is going to apply a second minus 5,000 or 6,000, depending on the colors, to the opponent's board, putting them under a minus 10 to 12,000. As a result, killing anything that spawns by Our Courage United. Then on the second one, you can spawn the Shooting Star and then go from there. This setup, this realization was so significant because it means we no longer are completely blown out by Adventure. We now actually have a response to that deck. And so, not only that, but Can't Turn My Back can also be used for various different lethal lines. For example, if your opponent is at 4 security, because you chip them with a rookie or something, you go 1 EX6, swing 2 checks, Can't Turn Back, make a second EX6, 2 check them, and then end the game with Taiki Blitz. You can also do the double EX6 play into Valder Arm. That's also a very legit play. To jog us into that if you are unable to swing the first EX6 because you had to use Can't Turn My Back into it. But there's a lot of different configurations using this card that make lethal lines possible. If you're short on Omni Shouts, just grab the one from your stack already and just go at it. So definitely a whole ton of different lethal lines that become possible because of this option card. It's also searchable by both Raptor Sparrow as well as Taiki, so very powerful in that terms of consistency. And being 2 cost, the deck doesn't have a lot of 2 cost cards, and so just adding more to that gives you better lines of choking. Crossart is a deck where you have to find the fine line between both consistency as well as power. And I feel like this list does a pretty good job about all of that. And so some of the other problematic matchups, okay, well, Galacti. Galacti has Tamer Pop. They have this big Chungus, a little bit difficult. Okay, well, turns out Crossart also has an answer to Galacti. Cross 7 Superior Mode. Cross 7 Superior Mode, on play, return all sources from one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of their deck, and return that Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Well, if you read Galactimon, states... Oh, no, not Galactimon, my bad. It's Destromon. It's the Promo Destro. Promo Destro states, until the end of your opponent's turn, their effects cannot trash this Digimon's stacked cards. Note, Superior Mode returns them. Superior Mode actually bypasses the new Destromon, so you can actually remove an entire Galacti stack off of this. Cross 7 Superior Mode, also really strong synergy with Can't Turn My Back, because using the Can't Turn My Back on a full EX6 stack means that you're reducing the cost of the Superior Mode by an additional 5. And I mean, like, with the cost of the Can't Turn My Back, really an additional 3, but still, it means you're getting this out for pretty cheap. So, Cross 7 Superior, searchable answer to Galactimon. Okay, fantastic. The other barrier, the other hurdle, Leviamon. That one's definitely a little bit harder. Go Face, Prey, MEGAZORD. Yeah, just that's all I got for you. But hey, being able to solve 2 of our 3 problematic matchups is pretty good. So, what changed in the deck? Okay, well, so I hate Sparrowmon. Outright, I just hated Sparrowmon. Sparrowmon was like really bad for me because I would constantly like do the Raptor Sparrow play, and then they would have like some 7k body, and then Raptor Sparrow would be forced to swing into it, and then I would lose the check. Raptor Sparrow would die. My opponent I basically blocked myself. Like, that's so obnoxious. Cut Sparrow. Did not like that. Instead, we're playing this Shoutmon. The Shoutmon's actually kind of insane because it's 1 cost reduction into any Crossart, so both your Shooting Star and your Raptor Sparrows become 1, especially your Raptor Sparrow being 1, because now you can chip for only 1 cost. Pretty good there. Omni Shout becomes 3 costs, so really great looping plays there as well. Okay. Because we're not on Sparrow, that means there's less of an emphasis on needing to tuck stuff underneath with the new Pikmon, so now we can play OG Pikmon. By playing OG Pikmon, what we end up doing is we actually allow ourselves to just go +1. Instead of having to go net 0 because you have a Tucka card, we go +1 with this Pikmon, which is very good for us. And then we play the 8 Shoutmons because we just want that consistency. And because we're on 4 of the Warp Shout, we actually max out on the Taiki name because we want to hit as many targets as possible. That's why we also play this Taiki over the Nene. Also, just having additional cards to cross with, because when you use the Can't Turn My Back, you need additional Tamers that allow you to Digicross from underneath Tamers, so having the additional targets for this is really good. 2 Uko. Uko Chip is just very valuable, and the consistency is very nice. Your cross pieces, 3 Shooting Star, 4 Raptor Sparrow, pretty standard. Going into our Omni Shout lineup, 3 of the new Omni Shout. Being able to loop this to push damage is so crazy. For every copy of Warp Shout you have in your hand, the Omni Shout is an additional damage, which is kind of huge. And we play the 1 of this because we still need an answer to Psychmon. 3 Dorulu, then 3 Ballista. We just want that consistency. Dorulu is still pretty clutch and stopping your opponent from like pushing for certain turns. 2 DX. This is both Zeke as well as the Omni Shout, primarily the Zeke, but it's a searchable Zeke, which is really important. You can also use this for its own effect. Security Attack +1 is really nice because it lets you push damage. When Digivolving on play allows you to also pop opponent's Digimon, so anything that would be problematic, you can just evolve into this straight. And then using Can't Turn My Back, if you have the 5 sources underneath, and then we go into the DX, by the Omni Shout plus Zeke reduces it by 6, and then reducing it by an additional 5, you're effectively going into a DX for 3 cost, which is kind of crazy, and then you just give it Rush. 4 EX6, 1 Zeke. We still play the 1 Zeke because sometimes you want the blue color to hit the -6,000. And additionally, sometimes the +2,000 is really nice and you just want the DDG, but really you're just doing this. Valder is still insane in this deck. I would like to fit a 3rd if I could, but you know, space is tight. Partition is live. EX6 plus DX still triggers Partition because you just treat this as the black component and then this is the yellow component. So even if you do that combination, Valder is still active. And just being able to tap out Tamers in a Tamer heavy format is just super strong. And then our Tamer lineup, 2 of this. It's the only Taiki that doesn't generate additional like card advantage, but still really good, especially if you want to play it off the Warp Shout. 4 of this. A lot of people I've seen people play this at 2. I've seen people play this at 3. This card is so impactful early game. I want to see this as soon as possible. Having this in your game makes or breaks certain lethal lines. So not having... I definitely just maxed out on this to have that more consistently. I can definitely see a world where you play only 3 of this, but I really, really like having 4 of this. And then 4 Searcher Taiki, because consistency is king. And then we play 1 Sepia. This 1 of slot really could be anything you want it to be, whatever like slot you need. If it's like a 5th Omni Shout, go ahead. If it's like a 3rd Can't Stand Turn My Backs, 2nd Superior, 3rd Volder, whatever you really want it to be. But Sepia is just really nice. Additional consistency boost, and the memory lets you be a little flexible. So that is my BT21 Crossart list. I've been testing it all day. It's gone pretty well, and I do have a little bit of gameplay, so look forward. Okay, so we have some gameplay. This is on the test server for DCGO with the BT21 cards. We were playing against Donkey Nog and his red hybrids. I'm going to go ahead, let the video run. We did mulligan, or no, did we mulligan that hand? Let me see. Did we mulligan this hand? Wait, let me see. Yes, we mulligan. We didn't have a rookie. Having a rookie is really important because you want that free chip early on. Our new hand is really good. We go to the Shoutmon, and then we go for the boost. Boost is just more flexible than anything else. By being able to leverage the boost, that does mean that we can go for whatever type of like play we want to do. Let me go ahead and like make that a larger screen as well. Our opponent is playing Red Hybrid. Red Hybrid is a deck that just wants to go fast, push damage. Its security is chock full of tamers, so really scary for us, but nothing that Crossart can't handle. He does see the 1 of Promo Aguni, which is also extremely scary, but again, as a deck, we're also pretty fast ourselves. Our hand is a lot of searching, not a lot of straight pieces. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to swing, try to draw the additional card, and hope this dies to security, because if it dies to security, then we can try to gamble on a Tamer. Unfortunately, we hit Memory Tamer Takuya Koji, but because we have the Sepia, we can go to 4 and play double Tamer, not wasting any of our memory, which is really, really good. We're going to go ahead. Can't grab Zeke because it is not a Crossheart, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going to grab the DX because I already have double rookie in hand. I'm gonna load the Warp Shout into my Tamer. Holding the DX means I can evolve into it should I need to do so, and having that Warp Shout underneath means it is now a cross target if I have the Omni Shout in hand. He's gonna go ahead swing the Promo Aguni. He's going to warp into the Ancient Greymon. This is going to inflict 2 damage, pop my Digimon, and off the Shoutmon we are gonna hit that Memory Tamer Taiki. Super huge. Go ahead and get that save as well. But yeah, this Ancient Greymon is going to go ahead, beat up my security. Nothing strong on my end, but his Ancient Greymon is going to pop itself at the end. But now we have to ask ourselves, what is my turn to play? Okay, well, currently, my turn to plays are pretty limited for the most part, to be honest with you, because like if you look at what I have double rookie, I have Ballista, Dorulu, and then DX plus Superior mode, so not a lot going for me at the current moment, unfortunately. But we do have our draw for turn, draw for Evo, as well as draw for the new Taiki. So we do have a couple of ways to cycle, and because of the Memory Tamer plus new Taiki, that will put us at 4 memory, thus giving us a lot of leverage, a lot of room to play with. We do hit Raptor Sparrow as well, which is very, very nice, because the Raptor Sparrow off the new Shout is a 1-cost evolution, and with the Shoutmon, it'll also gain Rush. So there's a lot of like small micro synergies here that we can do. And so if you notice, our hand, we're really in a very awkward position. We just don't have like a lot of cards to play with, and so we just need to cycle and find answers in order to stop him from just beating us senselessly, because he does have Ricky plus triple Tamer on his side of the field, which is super duper scary. Gonna go ahead, evolve into Raptor Sparrow for 1 because of the new Shout. A Raptor Sparrow effect, we are gonna go ahead, find that Taiki. Yes, Raptor Sparrow does grab any Crossart card, do you mind? And then we're going to go ahead. We are able to swing if we choose. If we choose to swing, we can attempt to save, and then we can just pass turn on the 3-cost Taiki. But we do hit the Spirit Evolution, which allows him to play out our free Tamer. Super scary. He's going to use his already set Spirit Evolution, which will allow him to free evolve into a hybrid Digimon, thus going into the Burning Greymon for 0. Now he poses a threat that I have to deal with, but at the current moment, my options are 3-cost Taiki, 4-cost Taiki, or Jaeger Dorulu. I don't really have a lot going for me. I'm checking a lot of my sources just to see like what I have. And I do end up going for the Jaeger Dorulu. Jaeger Dorulu is going to go ahead and stun out his Burning Greymon, as well as disable it from having any Wind Digivolving, trying to prevent any shenanigans from happening. That would possibly keep me that would possibly make it so I would end up losing, because if I go for 3-cost Taiki and then he has like 2 bodies to swing with plus 3 tamers, then like, you know, obviously we're in a world full of hurt. But by going to the Jaeger Darulu, what I'm effectively doing is forcing him to have an additional hybrid in his hand in order to actually push for game. Yes, Flamemon is going to swing for 1 damage, but then he will need an additional 3 hybrids after that to actually game me. And it's still pretty early into the game. He only has 9 cards in his hand, many of which could be, you know, rookies, 5s, 6s, even tamers. So with all that in mind, I think this is the correct play just to gamble on this. So let's go ahead, swing his Flamemon, and get that additional draw off of the Coralmon, checking all of my sources to see what pieces I have in order to Digicross. On my following turn, he is swinging the Burning Gray, determining if he wants to use the effect to evolve into the Agunimon for a reduced cost, and then possibly evolve into the Ancient Greymon, but he chooses not to do so. Hits the EX6, it's going to go down. And he doesn't have a inheritable that would allow him to, or I believe it was actually the Takuya that plays out a Tamer when a security is checked, but he chose not to play a Tamer. Maybe he just doesn't have a Tamer. And so now he's going to go ahead, he's going to evolve into the new Aguni. I think he was, at this point, he was just trying to cycle for the last hybrid to try and lethal me. Aguni is going to swing, it's going to hit. And then the question now, does he have the hybrid? And he does not. Unfortunately, he passes turn with the Spirit Evolution because I am going to go to 3 no matter what because of Memory Tamer Taiki. And then we're going to go ahead. He's at 3 security. We need to push for game because otherwise we will die. Like, we will definitely die. Going to go ahead, load up the Shooting Star. But as you can see, we do have a lethal line. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to swing this Shoutmon because by swinging this Shoutmon, we get an additional draw off the Pikmon. I do draw into the Can't Turn Back, which will be very relevant for this turn. By evolving into the Shoutmon DX, it allows me to gain an additional security attack +2, as well as pop his threat, so no funny ace shenanigans. Yep, so go ahead, pop the Burning Gray, and then we're going to go ahead, we're going to swing for 2 checks, right? And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to... so he goes ahead, he hits the Tsukuya Koji, that allows him to trigger the Spirit Evolution as well, hit that in security. If he had, say, the Agunimon with the correct sources, which he does here, it would allow him to go into the Ancient Greymon and actually pop my DX, but it doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead, we are going to use the Can't Turn My Back, and we're going to go into the Cross 7 Superior Mode. Cross 7 Superior Mode being able to load any sources into itself, and it's going to go ahead and load the Rush Shoutmon as well. By loading the Rush Shoutmon, it will be able to immediately attack. So even though I don't have an Omni Shoutmon this entire game, which is why I was not able to go into the Shoutmon EX6 to actually push for game, thanks to Cross 7 Superior, I can just load, you know, basically everything else, and that is going to be game, because now with the new Taiki, I'm going to go ahead and gain Blitz. So that is game. I'm also going to go ahead and bot deck that Agunimon while I'm also at it, and yeah, GG. So that is the power of Cross 7 Superior with Can't Turn My Back. Alrighty, and so for the next game, we're going to go ahead, we have a pretty strong opener actually. We have Uko plus Tamer, as well as double Shoutmon, so now we have a rookie to play on the following turn. Our opponent, he is going to go ahead, he's going to slam his own Ukomon. I can't answer his Ukomon, but he can't necessarily answer mine, so we're kind of just staring at each other. I'm going to go ahead, I already have I have double EX6 already, and I can't grab, and I have a Volder in hand already, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the Superior Mode. Superior Mode really demonstrating its prowess last game. Evolved into that Shoutmon in the back, and then I'm gonna go ahead and drop the 4-cost Taiki, knowing that he's going to have some difficulty with removing this Ukomon, because evolving into the Burning Gray is going to cost 3, which means he can't raid into me. If he chooses to grab this Gigasmon, that's 1 less combo piece for him to try and lethal me later on, which is fine. So we're going to go ahead and re-kill the Ukomon. He gets an Omni Shout in security, and then I believe he actually swings his Flamemon out here as well, if I remember correctly. Yep, there it is. He's going to go hit the Shooting Star. He's just trying to put me as low security as possible, so that way he can set up lethal lines later into the game. And now he has no way to clear this Ukomon, so Ukomon's actually going to get major value, and he's going to choke me on 1 using the new Takuya. We're going to go ahead. I don't really hit much, but I'm going to grab the Shoutmon with the reduced cost of 1 for evolution, just so it can have that on hand. I'm going to go ahead and load the Atler Ballista, Evo into Shoutmon, And then I believe I swing to draw an additional card off the Pokemon. If I hit a Tamer, it is unfortunate. But as long as it's not the Memory Tamer, it is totally a-okay because I can still choke him on 1. It is a little bit of a risky swing, yes, I know, but I wanted to put him into lethal range as soon as possible while also getting the additional card draw so I can try to use EX6. Because if you look at my hand, I don't have a lot of pieces to actually make an EX6 play. This top 4 reveals quadruple Taiki, which is insane, and I can only grab 1 card, and now my Warp Shout has very low odds of actually hitting a Tamer, which is really unfortunate. But, you know, say la vie, it is what it is. Promo Gunimon is going to come on out. He has the 1-up. The Ancient Gray is going to emerge. He's going to pop my Warp Shout. Warp Shout, unfortunately, not going to hit any targets off the top 3, which is a very much so a shame, but he's going to put me down to 1 security, and that is going to be the end of his turn. But hey, I'm bleeding, not looking great. He has possibly 4 Tamers floating, even has a Memory Tamer set up. So the question now is, what can we do in order to, you know, stabilize? And so I'm going to show you the power of Can't Turn My Back at its finest, and I got way too excited, just FYI. So we're going to go ahead. I have an extra copy of EX6. I don't need the second copy. I'm going to go ahead and load it into the source. Raptor Sparrow for 1, which will allow me to filter 4 additional cards. We do hit the Omni Shout, which is really important because with that Omni Shout, I am able to make sure I have Rush for my card. Raptor Sparrow is going to go ahead, swing in for 1 check. Next, we're going to go ahead, we're going to save it, we're going to grab back I believe our Zeke Greymon, actually, so that way we have that as a target in order to Digicross with. And yeah, so we're just going ahead checking what sources we have. I'm trying to see like what we can actually do. And yeah, just double checking because, you know, obviously you have to make sure you're grabbing the right pieces and everything. And I believe the Z Greymon is exactly what I end up grabbing. And I think I can make the EX6, but it's not for 1 cost and it's not for 3 cost either. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of an expensive EX6. But I need to make sure I'm not dead, so we kind of just have to do what we have to do because we're at 1 security, unfortunately. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to cross Omni Shout, DX, as well as the Atler. This is going to be a 5 cost, pass him over to 3 exactly, but we do have blocker because we do have that Atler locked and loaded. I recognize that if I swing out here, it actually allows me to threaten lethal on the following turn. So I go ahead and take that risky swing. He does hit another Tamer, but at this point, he already had 4 other Tamers, so what's 1 more Tamer going to do? But yeah, recognizing that I needed the additional swing in order to put him into lethal range because I don't have the shooting star to get the alliance. So I'm taking a little bit of a risky gamble here and just hoping that he's not able to actually push for game or remove my EX6. So really spooky to say the least, honestly. We're going to go ahead. He's going to go into the Burning Greymon. The Burning Greymon is... and then he's going to use the other Takuya to go into a second Burning Greymon. If he has the last hybrid, he is going to be able to actually push for game. I'm going to go ahead. I believe I block this Burning Greymon because if I don't block it now, then I risk the odds of Ancient Greymon coming on out and popping my EX6. He's going to go ahead. He's going to swing. He hits the Shoutmon. And he's going to go ahead. He can play another Tamer because of the Takuya Koji. Hits that. If he has any Tamer, it is going to be lethal. And yes, he does have the Tamer. That is going to be game. So unfortunately, we do go down. We lose that game. We're getting ready. We're going to go ahead, queue up for the game 3. So game 3, we open a decent opener. Tamer plus Uko is always a welcome sight. Yeah, sorry. I thought last game was the game where Can't Turn My Back pops off, but I was mistaken. I believe it's actually this game. Because I forgot we went to a game 3. Again, he has the Flamemon plus Uko opener. Really strong, but I too have the Uko opener myself. And I can just go ahead and put him to memory once again with the Memory Taiki. Memory Taiki really coming in clutch, to be honest. Just constantly generating value, hitting it off the Warp Shoutmon is just really great stuff. And it feels like we're just going to have a repeat of the last game where I'm probably going to go down to 3 security. But this time he has the Agunimon to get a little bit of a cycle and turn on that Flamemon Inherit. So now if the Flamemon goes down, he will be able to play out a Tamer. Some really scary stuff. But, you know, that is the name of the game when you're playing against Red Hybrid. You're just basically put onto a clock. Here, he's going to go ahead and swing. He has the ability to also evolve by reducing by 1. He's going to go ahead and evolve into Burning Greymon, which allows him to cycle an additional card. And then now he's going to float into a Tamer, which is the new Takuya. And so I believe he chooses to swing out the Ukomon here as well, fearing that I'd be able to remove it on my turn. And so putting me at 3, once again, I'm in chip range, and then he's going to go for the Spirit Evolution, allowing him to cycle some additional cards. And then if he hits anything out of security, he can then, you know, evolve for free. I'm going to go ahead. My hand is pretty shite. Honestly, I don't have a lot of pieces going for me. The reason I grab 4-cost Taiki over 3-cost Taiki is because 4-cost Taiki is going to continuously grant me value over the game and allow me to also choke him to 1. Whereas 3-cost Taiki, if I play 3-cost Taiki, I don't have any effective way to choke my opponent. If I can't effectively choke him, then I possibly am in a world full of hurt. So we're taking the value plus memory, the draw plus memory over time versus the immediate, and also allowing us to choke him out. But he does have a little bit of a slow turn, evolving the Uko. I'm always going to be at 3. He plays a 3-cost Tamer, puts me at 3. I can move out the Shoutmon, and because of the effect of the reduction of evolution, I can evolve into the Raptor Sparrow for 1 if I choose to. Ukomon generating so much value, and yep, here's the Raptor Sparrow, 1 cost. And now we can go ahead, search. We hit the Omni Shout if we choose to grab it, but I'm actually going to go ahead and grab another Shoutmon because I need an extra rookie to evolve in back because of Ukomon. And yeah, I believe we start swinging out here. Yes, we're a little bit afraid of hitting Tamers, but, you know, we need to put our opponent into chip range in order to actually threaten lethal. So it is just one of those things where you kind of just have to take that risk. Luckily, we don't hit any Tamers, so that's totally fine for us. And now we can just choke our opponent to 1 and make it so he's not able to effectively lethal us on his turn. And by setting up double Taiki, now we're going to be going to 5 memory at the start of our turn, guaranteed. So really showcasing the power of this new Taiki, allowing us to just generate consistent memory, so in that way we can fund all our plays. But he's going to go ahead and use the new Takuya, reduce the evolution cost of one of his hybrids, and then evolve it. So this is basically allowing you to evolve into your hybrids even if you're choked on 1, which is really good, to be honest. Pretty good from new Takuya. And yeah, he's just thinking about like what to go into. Definitely a lot of choices because you have just so many red hybrid options, right? But he ends up not doing it, actually. Probably because it would end up in being like way too large of a commitment. And it wouldn't result in like too much mileage. I'm gonna go ahead, Flamemon in the back, and then at this point I'm trying to recognize like how do I have my lethal line, and you know it's really important to note that we do have the can't turn my back, which is going to enable some pretty solid shenanigans, I will say, because it allows us to cheat out into bodies we should not be able to cheat out into. Because if you notice, we only have 1 Omni Shout, and we only have 1 of each, for the most part, 1 of each material, so is really important to note. But our opponent is going to go ahead. He's going to use the Takuya effect to stack 5, and then now he has the ability to evolve into the Emperor Greymon if he should choose to do so, but he chooses not to. He's just going to load the Takuya, which is something that you can do. You can just choose to load the 5 and then not evolve, which means you don't pay the 3 memory, which honestly is pretty good. So, swings the Uko. Ukomon actually lives, unfortunately. Hits the 1000 DP Shoutmon in the security. We being at 2 security definitely has lethal against us on the following turn if we're not too careful. And he's going to go ahead and evolve Burning Greymon in the back. So now, this is going to go ahead. We're going to start our turn at 5. Just having all the resource in the world, and mind you, I get a little way too excited this turn, so I do make a misplay, but we do have lethal on this turn. If you just you know, we just look away and pretend that I'm just not an idiot and didn't get too excited about having lethal. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna load the Z Greymon. We now have all 5 components for the EX6. I'm going to go ahead and make the EX6 first before I swing the Shoutmon. The reason being because I want to go ahead and swing the Alliance for 2 checks. And so by doing so, it gives us either lethal via Shoutmon or shenanigans with the EX6 if he somehow hits the card to go into off of the Spirit Evolution. So I'm trying to play around my opponent's possible answers. Here we are, kills the Uko, and now we can go ahead and swing out for 2 checks. We're just not going to use our Blitz. It has 4 different triggers because that is the correct way to proceed that. And then, yeah. So here, what I am supposed to do after I do these 2 checks, and so he goes into the Spirit Evolution. He goes into the Emperor Greymon because that is a legal target. He goes to the Emperor Greymon because they're the 5 targets, right? And this is the Emperor Greymon's black text box condition. He can pop a Digimon. He goes ahead and pops the Shoutmon, so I'm not able to actually swing out with that, which is totally fine. And so now, what you should do in order to achieve lethal, all you have to do is play either Taiki, because then that allows you to Digicross from your sources, and then by playing Can't Turn My Back, you reload the EX6, and then the EX6 can swing because you have Blitz, popping the Emperor Greymon, and that would be lethal. However, I get too excited because I'm like, holy crap, Can't Turn My Back, pop off, let's go. Load all my sources, and I'm like, yeah, we're doing it, we're doing it, we're doing it. And then I realize, oh, I don't have a tamer to tap, to Digicross some sources, and I make an EX6 without Rush. So yes, so we have lethal. Just remember, you need tamers, and don't be like me and get too excited because you play the biggest pop-off option in existence. Because this card, I was shitting on this card, or like when it was first revealed, and I did not think it was very good. And then I realized this card is actually insane, and the more I played with it, the more insane I realized this card is. So the lesson to be learned here, kids, is take your time and make sure you do things properly, and don't skip steps. But yeah, so I don't end up killing him, and he does this really funny thing where like I'm like, oh, you know, I think we're okay, you know, like this is not the end of the world. He doesn't end up. I'm just gonna go ahead and skip a little bit. I think I'm okay, and I look at this board set, and I'm like, oh, you know, maybe it's okay. And he actually has Susano Ace in his hand from this position, and I just lose the game from that. But again, we had lethal if we just, you know, didn't choke. But yeah, so that is going to be the end of the video. I hope I demonstrated just the, you know, how fast this deck can be and just how powerful it can really put out. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to join the Hoang Zero Discord if you want, you know, to join the deck building process for the unification, as well as just talk amongst, you know, other Digimon players. And be sure to check out the Hoang Zero Patreon for exclusive content as well as coaching. So thank you all for your support. Peace out.